Hi there, Sandra here from Create in Spain. On the internet the other day I saw this fun box. I thought it was very interesting, geometrically designed. It's just got this peculiar little shape in it and you think, I wonder how that's done. So I had a look at a couple of videos. Now there are several videos on how to put these together. However, I hadn't noticed anyone making one and making an SVG of it, which of course is my speciality. So I just had a look at the general shape of it and thought, yeah, okay, I know how to design that. And I've designed it as an SVG and made a little alteration or two. Now, I don't know what size the original box was. I've made a 6cm cube version. Being an SVG, of course, if you want to resize it, select everything and just increase it by a percentage, and you can do so as long as your card is big enough. Now, one of the things I did notice was that it didn't have any method of fastening other than just being a normal box closure with a flap. And it doesn't actually stay shut very well for me. And indeed, I noticed that most people tie it shut with ribbon. Now, maybe you don't want to do that. I don't necessarily. So I have designed it with a tab closure instead. So you have the normal closure there, but instead of having a finger hold there, you have a tab which goes into that slot when you want to close it, and it holds it shut firmly. Now, hopefully you can see some of the score lines. The bit that makes the interesting part of the design is this diamond shape here. It is in effect two squares stood on their corners, one inside the other. And I think I did something like a 1.3cm gap between the two, something like that. I can't quite remember. But I just did two squares, one inside the other, turned it on its side, and then positioned it so that the points were on the score lines here and on the score lines there. So it's, other than that, a pretty standard box to put together. All the score lines are in the file and you score them and you fold them and you use a bone folder, because if you don't, you're going to find it really difficult to make this box look tidy. The bit that is really hard to do is this bit here. And I've discovered that there is an easy way, or relatively easy way, of getting it done. I'm going to start off with the score lines which are on the inside. And I'm actually going to place a metal ruler next to my score line and then push it up. I need to get underneath that flap, because this one needs to be a valley fold and this is the harder one to do. So it needs to go up. Don't worry too much if your card has a little bit of a fold in there, but try not to make it too strong. These are all going to be covered over at the end of the day by the pattern pieces. So again, pushing it here, and if you want to, you can use a bone folder on the other side to really try and strengthen it, as long as you get in the right place, of course, which I just didn't. So yeah, that's how I think it's easiest to get the fold lines done. And that goes along there. I recommend a metal ruler for doing it, simply because they got sharper edges. And like that. And the last one for the valley folds is that one there. You can use your finger or use a bone folder, whichever you find easiest to do. And then you need to do the other ones. Now, I can't do them in the correct direction straight away, so I'm just going to put them in this direction and then fold them in the other direction afterwards. The next thing to do is to actually put on your decor panels, and the reason you do that now is because it actually aids with the folding. And I'm going to put these on with glue. I'm just finding today and yesterday that my double-sided tape just doesn't seem to want to stay stuck. I really don't understand why, but it just doesn't. So that's why I'm going to use a glue for it. In fact, I couldn't even put the box together with the glue because every time I did, the glue would release. And it didn't make any difference what glue I was using, which is why I have my glue gun out in order to put the thing together at the end of the day. I have decided that that is by far the easiest method of putting it together and making sure that it stays together. Because you're trying to force the card to do something that it really doesn't actually want to do, i.e. fold back on itself in places that it shouldn't, it's easiest with the glue gun to get a little bit glued down in one time and then go back in with a bit more glue for the next bit and so on. And you can do that because the glue will instantly grab it. So, I mean, if you have a glue that is absolutely fail-proof, by all means, go ahead and use it. I'm just finding that my glue gun is the only one that is fail-proof at the moment. And I don't quite understand why that's the case, but it just is. I'm filming this in between making banh mi rolls. The Vietnamese rolls, they're absolutely gorgeous. Right. There we go. Is this well stuck? Yeah, I don't think that's going anywhere. Okay. So I need to do the other fold lines. Okay, so I'm just waiting for my glue gun to heat up, and this is how you're supposed to put the thing together. I recommend doing the side seam first. So all I've done so far is glue the side seam, and next you want to get this sorted out. So the bigger area has to be folded in, and then the smaller area goes out. That's actually worked quite nicely. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that first section there. Now you need to work fairly rapidly because obviously hot glue is going to dry quite quickly. But the advantage of that is it's actually going to stick it in place where you want it. So I think this is by far the easiest way of getting it stuck in place. So now you know that that bit goes on there and it makes it relatively easy to do. So just need to put some glue in here. So on this edge here, it gets glue right the way up to that corner, and then can press it down and press it on the inside as well. To get it stuck in place. Yay. And then it's a simple matter of putting some glue along these two edges and making sure you've lined the corner up, and if you've got the corner lined up then you're fine. And you can always use a bone fold or something just to add a bit of pressure on the inside to help you get it where it should be. And there we are, apart from a couple of little strings which I need to pull off. That is actually fully formed. And when I want to fill it, I fill it up, put that in there, and then that tab will slot into the hole there to keep it shut properly, and it does keep it shut very well. I don't want to close it at the moment because it's best to just do it when you need to close it up properly. But that is actually done, and that was relatively easy to do. I found doing it any other way without the glue gun was an absolute horror story, because you're trying to fight what the card naturally wants to do. So there we go. Hope you enjoy this one. I hope you're going to make it up, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.